Good morning. Welcome to the first part of a new series, which is going to be me playing Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree for the first time, blind, and indeed, for the very first time recording my PC with a separate streaming PC. So this is simultaneously going to be a test and the first part of this new series. I've got no idea how it's going to play out. You and I will find out together. I already need to try and figure this out. Alright, that's where that cable can go. My recording setup is an absolute mad scientist's lab of cables and all sorts of workarounds that had to be figured out as things progressively started to go wrong more and more as I set up the recording, but we did actually eventually end up with something that works, and now I'm live. That is the situation. I will get my chat up and prepare myself for the beginning. Of course, I am live here, so if anything goes wrong, my first experience playing this game will either be marred by technical difficulties or become unsalvageable due to said technical difficulties that may or may not arise, so we just need to hope that all goes according to plan. I can do no more than that. Alright. So, to talk about Elden Ring just briefly, I have been playing this game since it came out. Day one, basically, and I myself am a Souls player going back to the original Demon Souls game. I've been playing the Souls series since before it actually had a release in the West, so that puts me at about mid-2009, and as a person who is very well versed in the Souls series, not particularly good at playing the games, I wouldn't say, not anymore, I used to be when I was younger, but as a person who has vast experience of the series, I don't find that Elden Ring really detracts from the series. I think because they've chosen the different naming scheme, I can accept it as an evolution of the series, but not necessarily the exact same series. It almost sits in a different category whilst being the spiritual successor. It sits better in my mind, and consequently, I think I'm a little bit more forgiving of it than other people in my cohort, who perhaps are a little bit more purist in the way that they look at this series and at this game. I think that Elden Ring is plenty enjoyable. I do like the amount of content there is in the game. The number of builds that I make isn't really changing based on the amount of content in the game, but the amount of time that I'm spending playing the game is definitely changing compared to, say, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Demon Souls, because of how much there is to do. You know, by the time I feel content with a new game level build in Elden Ring, I've already played like 50 hours of the game, which is compared to maybe 20 to 30 hours in the other games, and it does make a difference. It really changes the amount of time that you put in the game. Consequently, I feel like I've barely touched the surface of what there is to experience in Elden Ring, and currently being thoroughly spammed in my chat by a bot. That's really nice. The thought that I was having before I was distracted by that was that even though I've put about 500 hours into this game, I feel like I haven't really scratched the surface of what there is to do in Elden Ring. So there you go. These are my save files just here. The very first one that I made was the one named Ava. This is a dexterity build. It's fairly standard for what you would expect out of a dexterity build, because I hadn't made a build before this one in the game, and I think it is with this build that I will experience Shadow of the Erdtree for the first time. So let's load into it now. I don't know if I can manually ban you. Let me figure out how to do that, if possible. I'd like to do that. What's that? Ban. Yes. Goodbye. Don't spam my chat with garbage. You insisted that you were not a bot, but there is absolutely no reason for you to send 11 messages in 3 seconds. Alright, so here is the build. These are the stats. It is soul level 165. You can see that it is very heavily weighted towards dexterity. Hello, Hossein, welcome. My arcane is sitting only at 20, which is interesting to see. I could probably take Arcane to 25 or 30. That may actually be the next thing that I work on. Vigor is comfortable. I have no real need for Mind. I'm not making use of any weapon skills. Well, even if I am making use of weapon skills, I tend to settle for the default amount of FP. It is called FP, isn't it? I will have to actually check my terminology at points, because I haven't actually needed to play this game and then say anything out loud. When you have never actually said anything out loud while playing a game, you realize that you're going based on visual recognition sometimes, rather than internalizing what things are called. So I may not actually be able to pull the terminology from the depths of my mind to the surface in order to say them. So if I either say the wrong thing or can't find the right word, do forgive me. So I tend to just go with the standard amount of FP that you get with a build, or at least keep it very low if I'm using weapon skills. If I see, yeah, with this build I haven't even got the FP Estus Flask, the Cerulean tier flask. Crimson Cerulean, I'll remember that. So that just goes to show that I don't make much use of FP. Yeah, before I start this whole Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree business, it's probably good for me to apprise you all of just what you're dealing with when it comes to the build. It's fast moving, so what I have chosen to do for my own convenience, for good or for ill, is to actually focus quite heavily on equip load so that I can have lots of things equipped at one time. As you can see, I've got all 3 weapon slots occupied, and all 3 left, well, I suppose it's more acceptable to say all right hand and left hand slots occupied. In this case here, I've got dual wielding katanas. These are the longest katanas in the game as I understand it, and even if they're not, they are the longest while simultaneously being good for bleed build-up. This one has, where is your bleed? There it is. It's blood loss 45, blood loss 50. Now, there are obviously much higher levels of bleed that you can inflict in this game, but considering the speed with which you can attack using these weapons, you will be getting bleed procs quite frequently. Eating some wafers while watching Dink after finishing night shift, peak rest time. That sounds like a good way to spend the night, especially the eating wafers part. I might just quickly give myself a quick swig of Junmai. This is some kind of cedar wood Junmai Nihonshu. All I can say so far is that it's quite aromatic. I'm really quite impressed with the smell. Oh, that is different. It said that it was 1 stage off being the driest it could be on the scale that they had on the back of the bottle. That's actually quite sweet. And I've never used this word to describe sake before, but smooth. That was quite smooth. Anyway, back to the build. I have so many weapons in this build that, to be honest, I don't have a set loadout. I do try to keep any weapons that aren't related to the build away in my box. I haven't used Rivers of Blood yet. I keep thinking of Enoch Powell when I see Rivers of Blood, honestly. Which is always a nice thing to have in mind. The plethora of weapons that I have to choose from does make it so that what you have equipped here is not really standard. It's not a standard loadout, it's just what I happen to have here for fun. I do make use of a shield despite the fact that this is a fast rolling build, because, I don't know, I was feeling a little bit gratuitous when making this build, and that honestly is part of what Elden Ring is. It reminds me of Dark Souls 2, where your access to souls in that game is so acute, or so, the profundity of soul access via bonfire ascetics on the Giant Lord makes it so that you can have really, really high soul level and lots of skills. I feel that way in Elden Ring because of how much content there is in Elden Ring, and because it doesn't have that confined little bubble that you would experience in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, for example. I feel like I can just keep going with my stats. I don't really feel inhibited in any real way. I do grind souls in the Mogwin Palace location. Been doing that since the glitch was discovered, and I do continue to make use of that. So that tends to take me from soul level 110 or 120 up to 140. That tends to be the window in which I feel that it's necessary to grind these souls. And, yeah, happy to admit that. What else can I cover in relation to this build? I do also use a bow. It's just a standard longbow. I think it doesn't even have... Oh, whoops, I unequipped that. What is the... so what's the terminology for this? What is the... infusion? Skill? It's only got a skill attached to it, which is Mighty Shot. That might be just a standard art. I keep going to say art. What is actually... Ash of War. I think it's called an Ash of War, isn't it? As I say, terminology escapes me. So I think it's an Ash of War, isn't it? Yeah. There you go, there's our terminology. So I believe it's got the Mighty Shot Ash of War infused within it, but it doesn't actually affect the scaling in any way. This is just a standard scaling, which works just fine for me. Perhaps I could consider getting a more dexterity-focused scaling for this, given that this is a very high dexterity build, and I may actually investigate that as a possibility right now. Let's head to the round table hold. Now, I am familiar with how to access the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I didn't think that it would be a very good idea for me to come on live, blind, and have no earthly idea how to actually access the DLC, because I assumed, much like the Souls games that came before it, you do actually access it from a specific place in the world. I have checked online to see where that is, and I think I know how to do it. I suspect that it's just immediately after killing Mog Lord of Blood, not the one in the catacombs in Leyendal, is that how you say it? I think it's Leyendal. Leyendal. So the Forsaken Depths down here, yeah, Cathedral of the Forsaken, this is where you actually fight Mog in his weaker form. That is not where we access this. We instead will be going down here. Cocoon of the Empyrean. So that is, I believe, where we want to be going. But just while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to see if I can infuse my bow with a dexterity, or rather a keen Ash of War. That is the word that I want. So, Ashes of War. Anything? Is there such a thing as a keen Ash of War that can be used with a bow? It may very well be that bows have their own Ashes of War, and to be honest with you, I would have only forgotten that because I barely use the bow. Even in a dexterity build here, I just don't feel the need to shoot enemies from a distance. I never feel quite so threatened by enemies in this game, like regular enemies, that I need to dispatch them from far away. That says much more about the game than it does about my skill. I'm not particularly good. I have to impress that upon you all before you get any expectations on the basis of my extensive play of the Soul series. But yeah, as I say, first time actually using a separate streaming PC, I'm using an Elgato HD60S, and my immediate impressions of it when being used with a PC are that the color reproduction, the color reproduction is shit. Like, I can't stand it. It looks different to the way it should. And I suppose that's just because I'm so used to having exact color reproduction from my PC to OBS, because I don't use a go-between. I don't have a pass-through of any kind. Because it has to pass through my Elgato, I'm seeing that the colors are different, and it actually distracts me slightly. So it doesn't really matter for you guys, I hope, because you're not really seeing the comparison, but the playback compared to my display is drastically different. So there you have it. Anything else to go over? Because I've just decided that I don't believe I can actually get a keen Ash of War for the longbow. These are my talismans. I've got Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, which is very good for fast attacking weapons that you're certainly going to be slashing multiple times or swinging multiple times in one instance of confrontation. Very general use Erdtree's favor from the Ashen Capital. Bull Goat's Talisman, the location of which I have now forgotten. And then, of course, Greatjar's arsenal, which is assisting me in my lazy equipping of all weapons. You know, I don't want to be in a position where to change my weapon, I have to actually go into my inventory and equip it. I've just got it sitting here. And you would think, oh, these different weapons must be for different confrontational scenarios, Doomlink. That's why you've got all of these equipped. Wrong. They are only to serve as variety for me in the pursuit of my own personal enjoyment. That is the purpose of those multiple weapons being equipped. You could say they're for different situations if you want to be clever about it, but they're really not. Is it time to go to the DLC? Probably. As such, I will equip my most attractive looking loadout. Or, I suppose, of the things that I have equipped right now, I will equip that which is intended to be color coordinated. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I like that. This is the malformed dragon, isn't it? Yeah. So this is what you get from... And you can see I've actually used Malenia's Gauntlet here because I've found that it matches the set more. But yeah, this is what you get from the the enemy leading up to Malekith the Blackblade, that boss. So it's something that everyone has, but I decided that that is what I would use for my build here. Let's make our way to Cocoon of the Empyrean. Let's hope that there's no barrier to entry, like for example in the first Dark Souls game where you had to go and get... had to go rescue Dusk of Ulasil, then go and get that thing from the Duke's Archives, and then you were able to access the DLC. I can already see that there is something different, and it is the fact that this man is standing here, or this, I guess, currently unknown gender individual. Oh, there's me pressing A, or X, depending on, well, I'm using a DualShock controller, so I'm pressing X, but pressing the wrong buttons to interact, that's a good start. Let's press Y.
Were you guided here by kindly Mikula? I am Leda, and like you, I was guided by faith along his honorable path. Touch the withered arm.
I'm just raising the volume of the game a little bit. If it seems like it's too quiet, or rather too loud, I will drop it back, but...
My compatriots are there already. Like us, they have heard kindly Mikula's call. If you can find them, they are...
And that's right, Hossein. Basically, having the streaming part of the... how do I even describe it? So basically, if I were to live stream with the same machine that I use to play the game, that is going to cause a severe hit to my FPS because I've got quite an old computer. So, what's the word that I'm looking for? Delegating the rendering task or the encoding task to a separate machine actually allows me to record this on PC. That's the reason why I haven't actually been able to record Elden Ring up until this point. It's not that I haven't wanted to, but I have enjoyed playing at my own pace. I tend to, when I play something for the first time, play at my own pace. Don't worry about the distraction of conducting a commentary. I just do it, and it feels better usually. But I would have still played Elden Ring sooner than this on the Doomlink channel if it weren't for the fact that my computer couldn't really handle it. Alright, so what am I doing with you? Alright, let's travel to the Realm of Shadow. Yeah, the dialogue is going to be quiet, Hossein, because the dialogue is always much quieter than the rest of the game. I mean, unless I can change that in the sound settings. Voice. Yeah, I can make voice a bit louder. Let's put voice at 10 so that you guys can hear that a little better. Let's try that out.
Come now. Touch the withered arm.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Alright. I realized that I did actually have the power to change the audio levels, so... Touch the withered arm, head to the Realm of Shadow. I have seen nothing whatsoever of Shadow of the Erdtree. I haven't watched any trailers. I did technically look at the screenshots that were in Steam when you go and purchase the game, but aside from those screenshots, I know nothing, and I've seen nothing. Heard nothing, said nothing. So, I suppose you could say I'm excited. First impression of this area, weirdly it's reminding me of Dark Souls 3 a little bit. Why did the colors just drastically change? What's that about? Alright. Someone's riding through here on Torrent. I hope that you've been here many times before. That would be an excellent way for me to ruin the experience. Just blitz through it, you know. Alright, Gravesite Plain. Do we have... Yeah, we have an entirely new location. In fact, we don't seem to be able to access the other map. So, essentially, we have an all-new location here. I'm seeing a tree, but it is different to the Erdtree. The Erdtree is very straight. This is a twisted tree. And it's not very brilliant, is it? Seems a bit withered. And moribund. Oh. So I did see the screenshot of you before purchasing the game. It's this enemy here with the massive fire. It's like a big cauldron of fire in his body. As part of his body. Sorry, that sound was my smoke detector chirping, if you did hear that. That little high-pitched sound. I was not expecting to encounter you immediately. I thought that you were going to be one of the bosses in Shadow of the Erdtree, but that's fine. I'm just taking in the surroundings. It's a very bleak-looking world, which is unsurprising. They called it the Realm of Shadow or something like that. A little bit of a cliche. I wouldn't have gone with that, with those words or that terminology, but that's what they have chosen to go with. Realm of Shadows. Realm of Shadow, whatever. Or Land of Shadows, I don't know. One of those. One of the above, I think. Go to Rest of the Site of Grace. What's this site called? It's called the Gravesite Plain, which is what we saw before when we came in. I don't really want to engage you, to be honest. I suppose I can give it a try, but I wonder if there are other directions for me to go in. I really do think, though, that being able to see him from this distance almost makes him a beacon, something that I should be homing in on. I really don't want to. I'd like to explore some other things, if anything, to put it off, because I've got no idea what I'm going to encounter. Probably like a slightly intimidating and slightly difficult first boss encounter. Oh. There was one thing I was supposed to do before going live, and that was close my browser, because I am the sort... Oh, excuse me, sir. Well, first impression... I just closed my browser, basically. First impression is that the enemies are extremely strong. I am level, what? 165, I believe, and this guy is dealing some serious damage. Yeah, if I attack too soon, I am punished for it. Got our first bleed proc. Ooh. So he does one of those big slow attacks, which is designed to trip people up who... Oh, you attack a little bit too much. He has long... Look, I'm going to stop talking and just deal with him. One sec. Don't want to be distracted by finding the right words to describe this enemy. Ooh. Alright, so that was not a good first confrontation based on the number of Crimson Tear Flasks. Oh, I was immediately given my Crimson Tear Flasks back. So this is a situation where when you clear all enemies in an area, you get your healing wares back. I don't like that at all, okay? In context with that confrontation where I was rightly kneecapped, given a really, really good thrashing, I don't deserve to be rewarded with all of my Crimson Tear Flasks back. I really don't think so. That's a situation where I go back and regroup, go to the Site of Grace, choose to engage him again when he respawns, see if I can perform better, or avoid him entirely. That's the way that should play out. I don't deserve a reward for that performance whatsoever. But that's alright. Very well. What was I saying before? Yeah, I had to close my browser just to ensure that everything runs smoothly, because I have a lot of tabs open on my browser, so it tends to pull quite hard on my RAM, and I suppose my CPU usage as well. I'm seeing some more enemies down that way. But yeah, wow, for the first enemy that I'm fighting, he is really, really strong. You are not advised to take on this DLC unless you are at endgame level in the base game, which is understandable. I can definitely accept that. It's a little bit different in the other games. Here, it's definitely expected that you are all the way into the highest soul level, the sort of soul level that you would need to kill the final boss of the base game. The way he was moving was interesting. Definitely had some long, drawn-out combos. So it's all about finding the right opportunity to hit him, especially when you're using a weapon type like mine. Based on his build, quite skinny and not armored, I would say that he's quite easy to flinch with heavier weaponry, but that's not the way that I'm playing right now. So in my case, I had to find the right opportunity to attack him. You've got some rocks on your back, or what look like rocks. Perhaps they are the projectiles that you're throwing. I'm going to resist the temptation to use Torrent, because I feel that if I use him I might miss things, and I also think that it'll be a little more immersive and a little more meaningful if I just experience the game like this, on foot. If it looks like there are areas that I would be better served traversing with Torrent, then I will do so. Like, for example, from here to all the way over there, I will use him. And we've got a hanging tree over here. Don't really want to engage these enemies because I don't need to. I don't get anything out of it, do I? Not really. I did see this from a distance. Revered Spirit Ash Blessing. Revered Spirit Ash can be found across the realm of shadow. Consume this ash at sites of grace to bolster your Revered Spirit Ash Blessing. So I'm guessing this might be to do with those things that you can summon. I've never really used them. Or are they called... Yeah, that's what Spirit Ashes are, aren't they? They're the things that you can summon in certain scenarios. Yeah, so bolsters both summoned spirits and spectral steeds' abilities to deal and negate damage, but has no influence outside the realm of shadow. Okay, so that's really important. That's so interesting. I wanted to know how this DLC would affect the balance of the base game, because it would stand to reason that if you are going into a level of the game where the expectation is that you are basically soul level 165, or perhaps, let's say, for argument's sake, soul level 100 and above, maybe 120 and above, that you're going to then become even stronger, which then calls into question what the balancing is going to be like for the base game when you return to it, or indeed, what the balancing for the base game will be like when you go into New Game Plus and New Game Plus 2. Will the entire thing not become completely trivial? Well, I'm seeing here that they've addressed that, at least in part, by saying, or by ensuring, that this upgrade to the Spectral Steed, for example, will only work within the DLC. I'm happy to see that, personally, because I don't really want the balance of the base game to be completely, I suppose, sweep the board, to have the board swept for the balance of the base game, based on how your character will be improved upon in this DLC. I can see that it says Summoned Spirits and Spectral Steed. I don't use Summoned Spirits, so I'm not really at pains to make a decision between the two of them. It's very obvious which one I'm going to be working on. As for how you actually use that to upgrade, I really don't know. I remember, I think it was called Glovewort or Glowwort, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that was how you upgraded your Spirit Ashes. It's like a whole part of the game I haven't touched. I keep getting all these Glowwort drops and wanting to be excited about it, but just not being excited about it because I don't use them. But, I mean, it'd be interesting if I even experimented on this very first character. Did I upgrade any of these? No. You can see I haven't really acquired many, and I haven't upgraded any of them, so... yeah. It's a part of the game which, to be honest, does detract from it a little bit, but not too much. It's not like you can have this companion with you wherever you go. But, yeah. Is it necessary? No, not really. It's for the new players. It's to make the game a little bit more accessible. Alright. So, I have got no idea how to make use of what I just acquired. I don't know if it will give me a further hint if I have a look at it in the inventory. Is it under key items, or is it a tool? Might be under key items. Wherever it may be. It's not there. Unless I'm blind. This is also another possibility. Unless it allows me to upgrade, and then the upgrade consumable is separate to that. Yeah, maybe that was just something that I acquired to allow me to upgrade. Oh, here we go. So it's in bolstering materials. That's such a funny description, bolstering materials. It's apt, it's correct, but it's just a funny choice of words. Bolsters revered spirit ash blessing. Consume these at sites of grace to bolster your revered spirit. I think that was probably explained before, and I'm just really unobservant. Alright. So, I'll hold off on using that until I reach another site of grace. I'm already in the flow of things, so I will continue onward. I'm not going to go towards that thing over that way. I'm not interested in you at all. Although, there is a building over there. Oh, I do like structures when I'm out and about exploring. Do I go to the building? Or do I go down there? I must follow my nose, follow my instincts, and go to the building. Because when I see a building, I think two things. A, site of grace. B, possible goodies to acquire. Let's get off our spectral steed. I agree with the fact that the spectral steed can be accessed literally at any time, save for very rare exceptions. But it's so easy to blast through the game and not really care about these environments that you're interacting with, or rather to completely avoid the interaction with said environment by riding the spectral steed. So, particularly here, as I'm going through Shadow of the Erdtree for the first time, I don't really want to be on the spectral steed. I want to just take my time and really absorb the environment. Well, thanks so much, Odiums. I read that as Optimus, because, I don't know, you go for instant recognition, and for some reason I read Optimus. Odium's Vessel. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the way that I play through this for the first time. I'm just going to take my time, take it nice and slow, and see how we go. At the moment, I'm not seeing a way into the building, into the structure. I'm noticing that Shadow of the Erdtree is requiring a little bit more of my system than the base game. I think so, unless my system's just particularly shit at the moment, but... yeah, I'm not going to really speak to any performance issues that you may see, but yeah, at least I'm able to play the game. I wasn't able to unless I had set things up in this way, so it's an improvement upon what it could have been, we'll say that. Hefty cracked pot. I do not make use of these cracked pots. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm a crackpot for not using the cracked pots, but I really don't know what they're used for. I think they can be thrown, potentially. So that would put, well, evidently not, because they're not in the tools category, so... oh, for goodness sake. That's unseemly behavior. I'm distracted. What are you, trying to get a one-up on me? You're going to have to forgive me, and, oh, let me just say, so glad that Elden Ring added that feature where they put an exclamation mark on newly acquired items. Oh, so useful for people like me who can't see shit when they have a screen like this. I'm very old-fashioned. I like it when it's just a fucking straight line, like something that you can just go up and down in ascending and descending order. But here, it's like my eyes have been opened to a new dimension. And sometimes I just miss things. I don't know where these fucking pots are. I really don't want to detain those of you watching with my complete inability to find things. But yeah, these cracked pots can fuck off. I don't want them. I don't want them, I'm not going to use them, and at this stage, even though I don't know exactly what they do, I'm pretty confident that I'm not interested. Alright. So again, you are of no interest to me right now either. Oh, dogs. Pleased that you are here to engage with as well. If you know one thing about me, or if you need to know one thing about me when it comes to the Soul series, or perhaps video gaming in general, I don't like dogs. I do not like them. I find that they move very erratically and annoyingly quickly, and they are endlessly frustrating. Not when I'm at, Soul level 165, but certainly when I'm at Soul level 15, they can honestly go away. It was very dark in here. Shadow Realm rune. Shadow Realm. Oh no. I'm feeling some Yu-Gi-Oh quotes coming on. I will spare you them, but I'm feeling them coming on. This is sort of tickling the back of my brain as I stand here. The Shadow Realm. Ooh. Again, a cliche that they really didn't need to embrace here. I think they could have just gone for something a little different to a world of shadow and the Shadow Realm. I mean, really. It would probably be a little unfair of me to criticize the story. Because, really, I'm not that interested in the story. But there are some obvious cliches in this world, and that was one that could have been avoided. Interestingly, see that archway there and the texture and color in the arch? It looked a little bit like one of the fog gates of this game. I can't remember what it's called, actually. It's not called a fog gate, it's called something else. It might not be called anything in this game. But, the thing that you pass through to access a boss fight, it actually had the same coloration. I was a little bit confused there. I'm not going to go down just yet, because I've just come up here. Oh, this looks like something I can enter. Yes, it is. Wonder what the hell this is. Just a chest will do me. Oh, it is a chest. The Capra Demon and his dogs are a reason I didn't play much of Dark Souls 1. Yeah, that was a bit of a wall for people. Blade of Mercy. Presumably a talisman. What have we got? Raises attack power after each critical hit. Okay. So that is presumably ripostes and backstabs. And I suppose whatever you call the thing where you knock people on their arse. Which is not quite a riposte, is it? A counterattack? But it's not a counterattack either, because counterattacks are simply when you have shielded something and then within a specific window dealt an attack in response to that, which will boost your damage slightly. So it's not a counterattack. I don't want to use that terminology. That would be confusing. So it's probably just for, like, let's say, for example, you've backstabbed someone then for a set period of time, and at this stage, unspecified period of time, you will receive a damage boost. Raises attack power after each critical hit. I don't know how long it lasts. I mean, it would have to last reasonably for as long as a confrontation might with an enemy. So, like, imagine you backstab one enemy, and then maybe 10 seconds pass, and you backstab another enemy. Maybe that will be covered by that talisman. You'd hope so, otherwise it wouldn't serve much of a purpose. Got some black fireflies. Firefly? That just sounds like I've got a severe speech impediment. What are fireflies? Presumably related to fire, given the word pyre. Like pyro? Or am I... Maybe it's not pyro. Maybe it's vampire. Ooh. Are they going to suck my blood? Maybe that's what they're referring to. Why can't I find you? Why am I... Again, as I say, I must not detain you with my inability to find things. Even with the exclamation marks, I can't find it. Here we go. It must be here. Is it an ingredient? It's not an ingredient. It's not a tool. It's not... Of course, it's not a tool, but... Alright, I give up. I will give myself 5 seconds to find things, and if I can't find them, that's it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. So there seems to be a lot to investigate around here. We're back down here. Did I see everything there was to see over there? I don't trust myself. Let's go back. Let's go back. Make sure we haven't missed anything. It's a first time playthrough, so I'm going to be thorough. That's the way I'll do it. Just while I'm thinking of it, I will use my lantern because I am noticing that it is dark in places, so I may as well just put my lantern on my hip. See, I didn't really go down there, I don't think. So let's have a look. Am I hearing piano music in the background? I feel like I'm playing Minecraft and the sun has just risen or something. Is it just me? I might have been hearing that. Well, I did see that there was a site of grace nearby, so I will definitely rest at this. To be honest, I think that I have explored that to my satisfaction. Or have I walked... Maybe I haven't walked across that. Oh, let's go back. It's a little bit... it's a little bit like pulling teeth out at this point, isn't it? Come on, Doom. Like, you've seen enough, haven't you? Oh, come on! He's gone back. He's gone back to the fucking ruinous building. Yeah. Yeah, you can skip an hour ahead if you want. Those of you watching the VOD. I'll still be here. Oh my god. Okay, have to get up high first. Not before I kill you bastards, though. There's your jump attack. Yeah, I know how to play this game. The way I play this game will probably be a little bit, I don't know, Souls-like, rather than Elden Ring-like, but at times you will see me pull out a bit of a jumping R2. I can do a jumping R2 as well. The whole jumping mechanics of the game are a little bit weird to me, and I'll tell you why. It's because if I do a jumping R1, it doesn't look any different, does it? That's why I didn't do it for the first 2 years of playing this game. I didn't realize that it made a fucking difference. I mean, of course, the principle of falling attacks from the original Souls games would imply that you're going to get an increased damage boost from, or, you know, a damage boost of some measurable order when doing a jumping attack, but seriously, it does not look different because the animation is largely the same. Doesn't do anything for me, but this, there you go. You do the R2, you get a nice downward cut. That's what I like. An actual visual representation of my increased damage, or at least a visual representation of the fact that I'm doing something different from before. So I already investigated that. I'll check along here. I do see a bloodstain. Probably from some other adventurer. Like myself. Looking for things. Have you noticed the roofing is sort of Asian style rather than Western style? I noticed that. Not that I'm especially well versed in these things. I think I have looked around here, haven't I? Yeah, alright, that'll do, that'll do. If I haven't found everything by now, it's my problem. I'm the one who should have figured it out. Alright. Onward into the forest by the looks of it. Looks a bit bleak, doesn't it? Looks a bit bleak. Very washed out, very... You know, the colour palette is not very wide, is what we'll say. But that in and of itself can be beautiful. Very shadowy, yeah. Birdies. Birdies. Sorry, guys. You never know when I might need your consumables. Well, I think they're more like crafting materials, but... Just going up here, making sure I haven't missed anything. Things can be hidden at times. I will warn you, by the way, because of how long it took for me to actually set up this recording, this live stream's not going to be as long as it normally would be. It's going to be about an hour and a half. Oh, I can see you from up here now. That's interesting. Oh. That's pretty amazing. That's a good shot. That can be my thumbnail. Maybe. Oh, giant dragon. Giant dragon spotted with a massive stake in its neck. That is a big dragon. As large as Greyall, in fact. Perhaps, well, no, larger than Greyall, in fact. Look at him. He's a big motherfucker. And I don't know who was dead in Landel. Yeah, Landel. I always thought that there was another E in there. You know when you've never said something out loud and you've just only looked at it? I always thought there was another E. But no, it's just Landel. Landel. But yeah, there was a dead dragon there in the city. I think even that one was smaller than the one I'm seeing in the distance here. There you are. Yeah, huge. Really big dragon. I suspect we'll be going down there soon. For the time being, however, I can see that there is a way forward in there, possibly a site of grace, maybe even an upgrade to our Flask of Tears. Church of Consolation. Oh, you've got a big shield. And a matching mace. Oh. No, you don't. See that delayed attack? It's entirely intended to do exactly what that was. Where I did the roll, and then the attack came out. Oh, big follow-up. Need to consider building up my bleed as well. So the more consistent I don't think I want to deal with that. Yeah, you're well designed. He's designed to give me problems. So you can see, very, very unrefined on my part, you know. When I'm in danger, I just roll around like an idiot, and unfortunately, you are rewarded for doing that. It's just, I suppose it's a reaction to uncertainty. I tend to be a little bit more methodical when I actually know what I'm avoiding. Alright. Skadu Tree Blessing. Skadu Tree Blessing can be found across the realm of shadow. Consume these at sites of grace to bolster your Skadu Tree Blessing. I don't really want to say that word too much, it's rather ridiculous. It bolsters the recipient's abilities to deal and negate damage. Okay. Interesting. So you seem to be able to increase your damage negation as well as Torrent's damage negation just for Shadow of the Erdtree by using these things at sites of grace. A little bit unusual, I don't know. Maybe this is the way they're getting around making you too strong for the base game, I'm not sure. At this stage, I'm not sure if I like it. But we will tentatively accept it for now. Yeah, more bolstering, so much bolstering going on. Remember when I said I don't like dogs? I like flaming dogs even less. Even less. Looks like we've got some strangely... Oh. Yeah, some ghostly gravestones here. Are they from another world? Is our world intersecting with another world? That is the question. It is an answer I'm not really wanting to get, though, because look, when it comes to the Soul series, and indeed Elden Ring as well, not that interested in the story. I've always been very focused on the gameplay. I like the existence of the story because it provides context. It's a world that you're interacting with, so I want there to be a story. But to speak for myself, I really don't delve into the story of these games. It's not of rich interest to me. You look like a familiar sort of enemy. Someone's blowing the horn, and unfortunately there was a sneaky flaming dog waiting in the wings. Really not what I want to deal with. Changing weapons for fun. I think this one deals poison damage, if I'm correct. Alright, I retreated far too much for that. Oh, he's got that ability. And he's got a big-ass fucking follow-up, too. So essentially we're dealing with what you would call your generic guard enemy, whilst also dealing with Ashes of War. These guards have powered themselves up a little bit. They've got some of our advantages. I probably shouldn't have continued attacking them. Oi! Do not like that at all, actually. Alright. You can see I'm very much making use of the counterattack functionality of this game. I guess it's okay. I don't dislike that functionality, the way that you can just get this stronger attack when you have successfully blocked something. To me, it adds a bit of simplicity to the combat that I don't really like. I don't think you should be able to deal like a stronger and heavier poise inflicting attack just by having successfully guarded something. It's like a reward for not having achieved anything. It's like, okay, you've guarded something. It's essential. It's part of the combat. If you've got a shield, you guard things, so why? I suppose maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Maybe it's just a form of counterattack. That's maybe the best that I could say, if I were being reasonable. Just shifting the position there a little bit. Yeah, if I were being fairer, I suppose I could just say it's a form of counterattack, so I shouldn't overthink it. But the way I'm looking at it is, the way the combat system worked before was quite intricate and well balanced. And then when you add that counter, when you build that counter into the guard system and the combat system, it just seems a little too easy to get extra damage. But because it exists, I'm using it. It's become very dark. Let's make sure I haven't missed anything over here. Fortunately, because of the colours on the Elgato, you can actually see what's going on better than I can. Because you've got this really murky green fucking look going on. Oh, and now it's raining. It's dark, rainy, I can't see anything. And, I suppose that's now my first impression of Shadow of the Erdtree. So we're back at the Church of Consolation. This helps to get my bearings. Can we actually continue onward from here? We must be able to. I won't be too upset if we can't, but... Well, let's... No. Oh, we do have a map. Over here. Very good. I should have checked that sooner. We do have a map. That's going to help me navigate a little better. Because then I'll be able to see... I mean, look, the topographic... or the topographical aspect to the map that you receive is not good. It is confusing. I'm not always that clear on what is a high plane and what is a low plane when progressing through Elden Ring, but it might do something to help. Is this a drop-off over here? It certainly is. Alright. For now, I think we're going to focus on getting that map, and we will proceed after that. We are going on a downward slope as we go into there, but at this stage I'm not seeing a way forward. So, let's double back, try to get that map. It's over here. Don't know how I missed it, actually. Maybe it's not on one of those... Well, I don't even know what it's called. So there's a big epitaph and a... Anyway, there you go. Gravesite Plain. The whole area is called Gravesite Plain. Okay. That's what we're looking at. So we went down there. You can see that is where the map actually drops off. I suspect that given the road ends, and given what I saw, I can't progress in that direction right now, so I won't. I think I'm being pushed in that direction. But let's see if there's anything I can interact with over here first. Alright. Because I did see a water source, basically pursuing every possible option. Oh, Scorched Ruins, we're in a different area now. So I'm pursuing every possible direction before I have to go and fight that thing with the big flaming cauldron going on. I call it a cauldron for lack of a better word. It looks, it's, you know, a container of some kind. His very body is the container. Oh, we've got these things. I don't know what you're called, but you are familiar to me. You've got little arms. I'm not sure what you can do with those arms. I would suspect not very much. Looks like we've got a... Oh, I can remember what that's called, surely. No, don't remember what it's called. That's alright, it's the summoning thing. Oh, we've got a boss down there. Do I take it on? Not without a Side of Grace or a Stake of Marika. That's what I say in response to that. I suppose we could take it on. Should we do it? We're not too far from a Side of Grace, to be honest, so... Oh. Must be enemies nearby, I can't check my map. Oh god. Alright. What do you guys have to say for yourselves? I don't like birds. Any sort of bird enemy that I encounter is utterly unwelcome. These guys look a little bit, well no, not steampunk, but they've got armor on them. Ornate armor. It's interesting. When I first saw it, I was thinking, well, steampunk, but no, it's... There's no indication of, you know, gears and cogs and ancient technology. Oh, more of you, you bastards. Also don't like your long necks. Your long necks, honestly, are off-putting. Oop. Anything that remotely looks like a death-right bird is going to inflict some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder upon me. Yeah, armored birds. Well, look, those armored birds, it turns out, are quite easy to deal with. They're not like those hawks with the fucking blades on their claws, on their talons. Those guys are more concerning. Looks like I may not have to fight you right now. I'm not going to ignore that boss. I suspect that it's an optional boss, but I don't really want to... I don't want to ignore it. I also don't want to ignore the fact that I'm able to upgrade myself further with what I've picked up along the way, so I will do that. Pick up item. Skadu tree. Skadu? So that's obviously the Skadu tree up there. That's how I'll pronounce it, Skadu. Touch cross. Carved words coalesce. I abandon here for the first of the flesh of my body. Okay. Very good. And what do you have to say for yourself?
Ah, Lady Leda spoke of you. You're that tarnished. Guided here by kindly Mikola. Won't we all? I am Freya. I once...
No, Leia. Not Freya. Leia. You were a princess once.
Oh, another thing. Did you speak to our dour little friend? If you've yet to do so, have him give you a map of the cross's whereabouts. You'll find more of them dotted about these lands.
Well, this dour friend of hers
Mikola the Kind's footprint.
is apparently going to be marked on our map, or the location of said friend. Is that right? No. Well, I thought you said that you would tell me where this person was. Unless they've been marked like that. Not seeing a mark. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying.
Yet to do so. Be sure to have our dour little friend share.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you
Share his map of crosses. Okay. Well, I don't know who this dour person is, but dour being an adjective, not a noun, of course. What? I need to make sure that I haven't lost my bearings. So I'm going in this direction to return. Oh, excuse me. Let us first things first, is we need to try and make use of these bolstering materials that we have acquired along the way. So, Shadow Realm Blessing. Erdtree Blessing? Bolster your blessing, okay. So this is a Erdtree fragment, which bolsters my Erdtree blessing. The blessing bolsters the recipient's abilities to deal and negate damage. It has no influence outside the realm of shadow. So I suppose... Like, am I receiving runes as I go? I suspect that I am. I haven't actually checked to see how many runes I've been getting, but I'm sure that that's been happening. So this is a form of level up, just for the DLC. It seems like a very direct way to build your character's effectiveness in the DLC. Very direct, and I'm not sure if it's well considered. Alright, so I think, yeah, if it requires another 2, I do not have another 2. So there you go. And this will indeed be for... Oh, it's not a case of you choose between the summoned spirit and the spectral steed. You just bolster both at the same time. Very good. Alright. Alright, so I only received one of those. That's fine. The most important one is the Erdtree Blessing. That is going to affect my main character. Alright, up we go. Back to that boss. Must you interrupt me? So yeah, as I say, I'm almost certain that this is an optional boss. But I'm interested to take him on regardless. Alright, let's look at what sort of equipment I'd like to use. So this dragon scale blade is actually not poison. This is not the one that I was thinking of. I was thinking of the serpent bone blade. That's what I thought I had, and you can see why. It does look visually kind of similar. Serpent bone, or dragon scale rather, is just a dexterity-based weapon. I think I might go with this for the boss. We'll see if that plays out nicely. I suspect it won't. I'll probably just die. But let's try it out. What have we got here? Knight of the Solitary Jail. He's not very scary, is he? Oh, I thought that I was going to be able to avoid you. I really thought that I'd timed my roll. He's got an Avalon. The most extreme version of an Avalon I think I've seen. Oh, he was still attacking. Interesting how he's designed that way, huh? So even though I wasn't there, he was predicting that I would be there and continued attacking regardless. Yeah, do your attacks. Ooh! Tricked me. See how he pulled out his crossbow but then just didn't actually use it? Oh, he clipped me with the edge of his sword. Bastard. Oh, he's very... very good. Very good. Cleverly done. I like his AI because, sorry, I shouldn't use the word AI anymore. In the past it just used to mean, you know, the intelligence of the, of an NPC. But now AI is a real thing, so I can't be saying AI. The way they've designed his attack patterns and the way he responds to you when you fight him is quite well done, in that he makes you think he's going to do something, but then he changes. He's very, he's versatile. He will change what he's doing depending on the circumstances. I'll continue with what I was using. I felt that that was working fine. What I will do is that when I fight bosses, I won't speak, because I find that distracts me a lot from what I'm doing. I sort of go into autopilot when I speak, and that's not always how I want to deal with it. Oh, I was not expecting him to track that well at close range. Was not expecting that at all. The amount of damage he deals is rough. I must change to shield, and I'll tell you why. His poise is a bit too much. See that? How much easier is that to deal with? So, because of his poise, it's a bit too dangerous for me to use those swords against him. Got a bleed proc there. We both did the same thing. He's not that difficult. I'm just not playing very well. I can see that. I thought I actually had an opportunity to get a heal. Oh, not a heal. You're the one healing. I got an opportunity to do a stab, I think. Actually, I had my shield raised, but I was actually getting ready to evade into him, though. Yeah, nicely done. I just need to do better. That's alright. He's, quite tastefully designed. I think he's, This fight is also where the Scardo fragments show their bad side, because you can learn this fight or go, oh, right, yeah. So, look, I don't consider the fragments to be giving me an easier ride. I acquired the fragments before reaching this boss, so it makes sense that I would use them before fighting him. It wasn't a case where I fought him, felt it was too hard, and then went and used fragments, and that's not really how I'm going to interpret the presence of said fragments. I think they're intended to be used, and I will use them. It's just... that's what makes sense to me. What could I bring? Well, does this have any sort of ability? Oh, okay. I should be making use of that, perhaps. What I might use, I think, if I use Melania's blade, maybe that would be good. Hand of Melania. I think for a fight like this, I should be trying to make use of some special skills of my weapons, because you can see I'm doing it very bare bones at the moment. Very hand-to-hand combat. Maybe I should try and do something like this. Yeah. Yeah, let's do some of that. I probably shouldn't have wasted my FP there, but too bad. Waterfowl dance. I'm feeling like a waterfowl at the moment. I'm just in that sort of mood, you know? I think I ran out of stamina to actually perform the complete follow-up to that. Love the range of this sword, by the way. Ooh, was a rather strange noise that I just made, but anyway. Bastard. Oh, so nicely done. Look at how well he responds to you. It is impressive, I like it. My instincts at times are to be aggressive, and the reason why is because I sort of expect that I will be able to flinch him a bit better than this. But it's not happening that way. Not good. You prick! You prick. What an ass. I don't quite know how he managed to achieve that, because he hadn't hit me for a while. At least I don't think that he had done. That seemed a little unfair, don't you think? I thought that I thought that I had the upper hand over him there, and then he just shat on me. Feels like a player, a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Yay, I have to do the banning myself now. Hold on one sec. Goodbye. Deleted by a moderator. Yeah, I'm moderating my own chat. That's what's happening. Alright. Where's my runes? There they are. Try that again. He's got a lot of health. He's also quite resistant. He's got lots of poise. He's a good balance of being aggressive and giving you opportunities. He's just overall a very balanced fight. I think that is what's tripping me up the most, the way I just can't seem to flinch him in any sort of capacity. Did he change hands? Yeah, I wouldn't even dream of interrupting whatever you're doing, mate. I would like... Oh, that's what it is. It's the breaking of the guard. So that's what got me killed last time. I have to be careful with my stamina. If he breaks my guard, he instantly kills me. That's another element to this fight that I need to consider. That's something I should have learned last time, but I hadn't really seen what was happening there. It happened quite quickly, and I hadn't learnt the lesson. So I've learnt that lesson. I have to watch my stamina, because if he breaks my guard, that's it. Yeah, Peaberry explained it actually in the chat, I can see. Cool. Also, welcome, by the way. I just got clipped by the last thing, though. I could be playing it safer as well. I'm not being overly aggressive, am I? But... Come on, that was a backstab. Oh, I did go for... I was going for a waterfowl dance, though. I said that I wouldn't speak during the fight, but it's no fun, is it? What? You know when you think that... Anyway. I'm not going to talk. I don't think it would have been different whether I rolled into him or away from him there. I think that was going to be the result no matter what. You're here for the commentary, but the thing is, the commentary makes it harder for me to perform, because instead of focusing completely on the fight, I'm figuring out ways to explain what has already happened, or trying to explain my thought process. It's good to explain my thought process, but it can actually get in the way of the real-time thinking. That's the problem with that. I don't actually feel that was closer, Hossein. I've definitely gotten to the halfway point several times now. Maybe I was dealing with him a little better. Felt closer to what would be a good run. Oh, shouldn't have done that. That was a bad time for me to do it. Bad time for me to do it. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. Because that's all that you can do. When you're learning how to fight an enemy, You just keep persisting. That's the only thing you can do. So I could also try something else. Something that might be more effective. Because I don't think anything that I have on this build is really going to flinch him. So he's essentially this thing that deals really heavy damage. He is not flinching when I attack him, so all I can do is really just sneak in hits. It's the only way to do it. Alright. Let's do a sort of slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. Let's just play it super careful. Got that beautiful range on that fucking katana. I haven't really been utilizing that, have I? Not really. I do sacrifice a lot to do that, don't I? Fair play. I'm assuming he only gets one heal. If he gets more than one heal, I'll be right pissed off. Not how I should approach that either. Like, when I know that he won't fucking... Ugh. When I know that he won't flinch, I can't be approaching it that way. It's not a fucking joust, I'm gonna lose. That's just what happens. He deals way more damage to me than I deal to him. And, yeah, I'm gonna lose the joust. Yeah. So just that one heal, that's all he had. It's typically how they do it. He so indecisive. Oh, come on, mate. No, you don't. He'll catch you if you're careful, if you're not careful. Something about that attack, you think it's going to take longer to come out than it does. That's one thing I'll comment on. Not going to be greedy. Bugger. Good night. So just making use of those counterattacks more. That's really why it took me so many attempts. It's because I wanted to unlock the fight in different ways. I didn't want to just sit there behind my shield and do the fucking counter. It's so boring. But I think that if I'm going to be hand to hand against an enemy that has so much poise, I think that's the only way I can really do it. So, or the only way I can reliably do it when I haven't really fought the boss before. So, managed to get the armor set of the guy. You can see the poise is reasonable. So 45 poise, yeah, that's high. If I compare it to some of this other heavy armor I've got, even this thing is 40 poise. Bullgoat is 47. There is your best example, because I believe that the Bullgoat set is the highest poise in the base game. So 45 on this. And with bit lower weight. This is a very high poise loadout. Let's have a look at the weapon. I suspect it's not going to be for our build, but... Oh yeah, there's this as well. So, that looks like a potentially good strength weapon. Strength Faith, actually. I do have a Strength Faith build, so that will be good to get. Black Steel Great Hammer. Good to get with the build in question, the Strength Faith build that I do have. This is a strength weapon. Not really a quality weapon. I can see it's got an E in Dex, but I don't suspect the Dex will improve as you upgrade it. 27 requirement. Solitary Moon Slash. Let's see if I can at least demonstrate it. No. So without the skill with the weapon, I can't actually demonstrate the ability. But that's alright, it looks kind of cool. Looks like it could almost be like a Dark Moon greatsword of some kind. But yeah, that's that boss. I think I was being a little bit intransigent. I should have been more open to what was working well. You may have noticed there that I was intentionally going for more interesting or weird ways to get the upper hand, but I should have just, done the tried and true, evade when it's appropriate, block when it's appropriate, and liberal use of the counterattack. That's what I should have been doing. I do realize it feels a bit premature, but we're very close to finishing this live stream because I only had a set amount of time available to record today, and yeah, the setup of this live stream ended up being very messy. So, you say play what's fun. If that means trying funky styles, so be it. Yeah, I'm probably more interested in doing what's fun than what's effective right now, or at least, more interested in mucking around with different ways of playing rather than just doing what works. But if I do get to the point where I failed a boss like 4 times in a row or 5 times, whatever that was, I should just do what works. But yeah, that was okay. Again, pretty traditional style. When you're running a dexterity build, it's not going to be too out there. Pretty traditional style rolling and shielding. Alright. We've got 133,000 runes. I don't think that's enough for me to level up. If it is only for 1 level up at this stage. Let's have a look. Nope, so I'm at 192,000 requirement. Interestingly, they have highlighted all of my attack power stuff in yellow. I guess that must relate to the Shadow of the Erdtree bolstering that I've done. So, that's fine. What else should I cover before finishing up? That's it, really. Yeah, as I say, normally I do a 2-hour live stream when I record, but it's just not possible this time. I have other things to work on. Have to eat as well. Haven't eaten today. So, there you have it. This was sort of a test recording for Elden Ring, the first part of my blind playthrough of Shadow of the Erdtree. You can expect fairly frequent recordings of this, and the reason why is because when I have to record it in order to play it, I'm going to be quite incentivized to sit down and record, because Shadow of the Erdtree, and just Elden Ring in general, is something that I like to sit down and pour a lot of time into. So I've basically set myself up to make it an on-camera only affair. So that's what we're doing. Perhaps in the next recording we'll take that guy on. It's tempting to, now that he's so close to me. I suspect he'll smack me around good, but we'll find out next time. I do thank you all for joining me. It was a truly bolstered stream, yes, it was. I will see you next time I'm recording. Bye-bye for now.